No, okay. Okay.
Great way to start a show.
Yeah, let's get started. This is Inane Blather, episode 29, and we are the Earl Thomas of podcasts. That's why this is episode 29.
I was like a safety?
For all you big time. Yeah. This is your safety show. It's like a safety school.
It's a safety space.
Or it's more like safety scissors, if you know what I mean.
The only kind we're allowed to use.
And if you listen to the show and you like this show, well...
it's because you're an honorless, lying little turd.
And also it is hosted by...
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
All right,
That's
good
us.
episode. I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah,
I don't know how many times
catching
I
up.
Do that joke. Yeah, especially since
Maybe
we
until
literally
someone laughs.
just talked for an hour before the show started. But
I'm pretty spent.
It was boring. Yeah, now we got nothing to talk about.
We got nothing to talk about.
Even though to date the episode, you have to ask my permission. No. All right.
Down. I've been working on my fake laugh.
Lit.
Yeah, well,
This is absolutely lit.
That's
Keep working on it.
That's what your laugh is like. No, your fake laugh at first sounded really legitimate, and it kind of took me by surprise. I was like, "Good God, it's not that funny. It's not as funny as the jokes we were making before the podcast started." But, they had too many slurs. No. Literally telling, like, Reader's Digest jokes. We're pushing boundaries, man. You know, you got the caution tape over the mouth, like, getting ready for the PC police.
They're not ready for this, yeah.
The bad boys of podcasting. But, I mean, to date the episode, the State of the Union address just happened, and we're not going to talk about it. So,
I didn't watch it.
For everyone, I know, I actually just had NPR playing in the background like I do all day, and I wasn't even listening to it, and sat down to have a quick bite to eat, and then realized I heard, like, clapping and stuff. I was like, oh, that's Joe Biden. Oh, what the... And I had to go like, hey, Alexa, volume up 2 times. And I was like, the state of... I had to Google it. I just Googled SOTU, and I was like, yeah, it's happening right now. That's what this is.
So too.
Some of it was pretty good.
Woke?
Some of it was stupid. I heard like the last half of it, you know. Yeah, we'll make sure law enforcement, blah, 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 let's do some immigration reform.
Malarkey. Yeah.
But some of it was interestingly good. But like I said, we won't really go over it because I'd rather re-listen to a bunch of out of context clips and let people attack it first. Then I can form my own opinion.
Form your opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to see what Tucker and the gang say.
Tuck and the gang.
Yeah, he takes one listen to any of that, and he's like,
This is propaganda.
so I mean, that's the way it goes. That's what Joe Biden says in response. So he's like,
these people are sick.
But real quick,
The State of the Union is strong, I think.
He did.
Do they ever
that.
say anything other than that?
You know what was funny? At one point, it was kind of cool the way he said it, honestly, and my immediate thought was like, see, there's some fun nationalist patriotism stuff, but it was something, but the way that Biden said it in his speech was kind of cool. It was something like, I mean, it boiled down to like, don't mess with America, but the way he said it was really great.
Boot in your ass.
Yeah, it was really great. It was and true about like, you know, because I think it was about like the war in Ukraine and these other things, but you know, other countries or people at least know that you know, it's not good. You don't have good probability going up against the United States, which is just true. for the most part, because we're an imperialist war machine. But the way he said it, I was like, damn, yeah, that's true, Joe. But then the fucking crowd started chanting USA, USA. And I was like, oh my God, gross. Come on.
Also,
it's ruined it.
Yeah, you don't have much of a chance. And then we spend like 20 years not getting anything done in Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah. Man. There's lots of blunders, but it's also true that it's like, well, I mean, we still, even despite all those blunders, we still like just cover the entire globe in our fucking splooge.
Semen.
So, exactly. Yeah.
That is my own sperm.
Dumb shit.
Yeah, I don't have that one, but.
The Constitution could suck me from the back.
So real quick, just because I'm finally getting kind of tired of it, I know that this is a foundational part of our podcast.
It's rainy.
Okay. And here it is windy. Actually, it was rainy too. Yeah.
It was very rainy today.
Because now that, I'm going to take we discussed it before the show. I'm considering pivoting in my objectives here. We're going to pivot to video. No, we're going to pivot to...
Oh, God.
Pivot to actually caring about making an attempt to get people to listen to the show.
Did we decide that's for sure happening?
No, we're considering.
We're making that pivot?
I'm considering. Okay, you don't do anything anyway, Natalie.
That's true. I don't even listen to this podcast.
I don't listen to this trash. But,
I comment on it on YouTube, and I'm like, that's enough interaction.
Bitch.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. Because I know how much of a social media following you have, so it really helps, Natalie.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
It really helps.
No, but in terms of just self-validation in that, you know what, we're actually doing something with this creative outlet, and actually getting people to listen to something that's not mainstream garbage.
It is not mainstream, but it is garbage.
Yeah, exactly. It's fringe garbage. It's frarbage. It's frarbage. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're gonna rename the show Inane Frarbage, and
it just rolls off the tongue.
Bam! Suddenly 1,000 new followers. Because it's so easy to word of mouth, where it's like word of mush mouth. But
people like tongue twisters.
But yeah, so the weather is important because
climate change.
I also don't want to say, you know what, we discussed it in the first episode. Don't go back and listen to the first episode, please.
My microphone wasn't as good, and it was a lot more inane.
Oof, yeah.
If you can believe that.
It was pretty bad. No, but
I'd rather not.
I mean, they're all bad, but I feel a lot better about like the last 15 episodes than the first ones. Actually, I mean, everything from episode 10 on is a million times better than the first few. But that's just the way that it goes. Real. Yeah. And the first one's called The Weather. That's right. But the weather is important. It's rainy over there. Of course it is. You live in Western Washington. I mean, it's exactly like what people think it is from the movies. It rains 24 hours a day, 364 days per year.
Don't ever visit here in the summer because it'll just be raining. We don't want you to visit.
Yeah.
It's ugly and gross.
Yeah, right. That's a funny joke where people are like, "Oh God, yeah, it's terrible. Don't ever come here." But at the same time, I'm like, "No, I want everyone to come to Washington. Fuck it." It's too bad that it completely ruins our housing markets. But that's a product of capitalism, not the fact that I want people to enjoy our beautiful, beautiful, welcoming state. But
in the summertime, it is spectacular.
Yeah.
Woo! Goodness gracious,
Exactly.
It's wonderful weather, but. Springtime, it's kind of wet.
I was at
those parts, is what she said.
Springtime for Hitler. But actually, I was at since I'm kind of involved in local politics. No, not really, but I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
That seems involved in local politics.
Yeah. It's purely volunteer stuff. There's a lot coming up. But actually at the meeting and monthly luncheon yesterday, we had
lobster and champagne, and you were flown in on a helicopter.
Yeah, at the local bar. We also had luncheon where literally all I had was coffee because I didn't feel like eating. But no, someone had brought up what they want to do with growing some plants this year and stuff like that. And I finally, for the first time this year, felt an emotional light at the end of the tunnel and was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for spring and for my flowers because I'm gonna have I'm already planning it out. I'm gonna be getting roses.
You're planting it out?
I'm planting it out? No. No, I'm not planting it out yet because it's February. The State of the Union just happened. No. God damn it.
You know, it's not even Valentine's Day, you moron.
Yeah. I mean, I have a big Valentine's Day coming up. I can't even think of anything else. But
big plans.
But yeah, I was just I was like, oh, I'm gonna be one of those people. I really like growing some flowers and stuff, and I'm gonna have roses this year, and they're gonna be a permanent fixture at my home. It's going to be really nice.
Yes.
So, and I have other stuff that was planted last year.
Plant some seeds. Kelsey and I planted, we just tore up some grass and planted some wildflowers, just a native mix that we throw down. We didn't do anything. We would water it occasionally, but it's like the whole point is that they're native and you don't really have to do much to them. And it was so nice. They were so cute. Like when they started to grow, it was like, oh my gosh, our little babies. And then when they started to bloom, flowers are so cheerful. I love their little faces.
I had wildflowers just as a placeholder because they're annuals and stuff. But
you and the loafster can plant them, and it's cute to watch them.
We had a lot of fun planting flowers. Although then the ones that Sophie and I planted together, the dogs dug up a bunch of them, and I was like, ugh. So
we had a bunch of birds and squirrels trying to get our seeds. There was like sunflower seeds and stuff in there.
Yeah. Sunflowers grow really well over here, too. But anyway, so it's just a dark and dreary time until then. I will just be counting down the minutes until irrigation gets turned on.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this in
the spring here.
In the last episode, I was talking to someone who's lived in different places. Did I say this? Where he was saying like the vibe in Seattle in the summer is really good because people don't take the sunshine for granted. You know, it's like it's a real nice change of pace after the long spring, which is beautiful. All the things are growing, but it does rain a lot. And but he said that he's like, if you're looking for the best summertime vibe, go to Chicago in the summertime because people do not take the summers for granted there. And the weather is really, it's pretty nice. And they have absolutely excuse me. And it's like the Midwest vibe already of hard winters and like, really, you know, not taking things for granted because all of the seasons that go through that kind of vibe is even talked about on like Prairie Home Companion. Garrison Keillor talking about that, about the summertime.
The sex pest.
And like how, the Me Too'd dude. That's what they call him.
The Me Too'd dude?
Me Too, the lewd Me Too dude.
Yeah, because they called him the cool dude before, and so they had to change it around.
Garrison Keillor.
Yeah, it's definitely different over where I am, where it's just so much sunshine all summer. It's crazy. There ain't no rain in the summer.
Where I went to college, they boast over 300 days of sunshine a year.
Yeah.
It's very sunny.
Same here.
On that side of the state. Yeah,
for
sure.
Yeah. Well,
it's very cringe when you do that.
Is what I say to the sun. But
talk about the weather
like, again. Oh, jeez.
Oh my God,
it's
sunshine.
Like, why is that guy staring into the sun and talking to himself? It's like
because he's the president of the United States.
He lives in Eastern Washington. So,
do you remember when the president stared directly at the solar eclipse?
Yes, it's the funniest fucking thing Trump ever did. Like how
I know.
R-worded.
It was worth it being him president for that.
Just for that. For him to not have the glasses on, and son
and to
says,
point
look,
up at
and
it
he goes,
and
he's like,
staring at
oh,
it.
that, and looks directly into a solar eclipse like a fucking idiot.
Directly at the sun at any point. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's like,
that should be a test to be able to become president. Yeah. That's where we're at in America. Do you know not to stare directly at the sun? Welcome aboard, Mr. President. God.
Oh man, I don't have very much funny stuff written down here, but that can just remind us from Trump looking directly into the sun. I did write down this great quote that you can't inspire people by continuing to give them what they already believe to be possible. Isn't that great? It's true.
And
you have to do what's considered impossible.
An idealist. Exactly.
You know who said that?
See, I made that quote. Hitler.
No, it was Kobe Bryant. He's awesome. Rest in peace. Rape in peace or something. I don't know.
Rape in peace.
That seems like an oxymoron.
That was my impression of Ted Cruz.
Yeah, that's right. My pronouns are kiss my ass. But yeah, that's not funny. Oh my gosh. Talk about cringe. Oh man. Reminds anyway.
King cringe right there.
Yeah. So one thing, and I brought it up before, and this can lead into the only funny thing that I had on here, but on a serious note, so there has been a lot of discussion, of course, about AI created artwork and stuff like that. I was at a fucking kid's birthday party last weekend, and I was talking to two of the dads, and we were talking about AI art and AI technology and stuff. And actually,
topic.
It was funny how it came up. Actually, Ethan, who you know him, he was saying he uses Chat GPT all the time for his work. He's like, I hardly write any of my own emails anymore. I was like, oh my God. He's like, it's great. But
that's awesome.
But in terms of artwork, there's some great discussions. But what I kept seeing on Twitter before I deleted it again today,
deleted it again,
fucking done. I swear to God, I swear. It's like I just need to share the episodes, and that's the time that I could be on Twitter when I'm sitting here at a fucking desktop computer, and that's it. It's not on my phone.
What happened? Let's talk about it.
Oh, it's just it's everything's out. It's all the same shit. But finally, with the just another set of drama about Keffels and Vosh, and honestly, it's the use of the R word, and honestly, even just sitting there and thinking my own thoughts about the use of it, whether it's a slur, because I understand it, but I hate that you would call the word retarded a slur when things like the N-word are slurs, or things that are, I don't know. It's just, and then sitting there and thinking through these things, let alone reading through the discussions and backs and forths, because that's something that the online left certainly doesn't agree on. Like, people are like, no, I'm going to say it, we're not making fun of, differently abled people. We're calling returning people, and it's like yada yada, this back and forth. And even trying to form my opinion on it, I realized what a fucking waste of brain power I was engaging in right then, where it's like, I can't be caring about this right now. You know what? And I can't believe that this is burrowing into my mind right now. Just this discourse at all. Like, why am I on here? Why am I here on Earth? No, but why am I on Twitter? Fuck this app. I swear to God, how it just gets its claws into me. I'm not going to blame Twitter. It's pretty interesting and exploitative what it does to people, just social media in general, but it's me. It's my fault. I have an addictive personality. I don't know if anyone knows that, but it's like I need to after deleting it, you know how many times I opened my phone and just swiped right up to go to where Twitter was in my apps tray, and it wasn't there. I did it like 4 times, like in the next 2 hours, just to check it because I had 1 second of not doing something else, and I was like, ugh. Anyway,
no, it's not just people with addictive personalities. That's what they say about social media.
Yeah, I'm saying social media, is bad for you, but I just know that not everyone abuses it like I do in terms of Twitter. I mean, because other social media, it doesn't get to me like Twitter does. There's just something about being able to have these conversations, ranging from intellectual discourse to literally calling people the R word for fun. Like, I mean, it's got something for everyone, baby. No, but it's like it really brought me in. Yeah, it's weird how it's more app based. I mean, it's a website, but how much it is the internet distilled right now, because it's just people just saying something and then people just saying shit back. Like, it's weird how much of the internet is not that. When you spend time on Twitter, like you start feeling like that's what the internet is. R.M. Brown, how he says, he's like, yeah, I mean, that's what's good with the internet. You go on and say, you're fucking stupid, and no, you're stupid, and then, that's what you do. Anyway, so, some interesting and funny Twitter discourse was about AI generated, like, pornography, more just like centerfold women, because, of course, losers were sharing like these pictures of scantily dressed women or women in bikinis that are very good AI, where it looks like real for the most part. Of course, there's always something where they've got like some 7-inch long finger or something holding their phone, or there's always some little things. But there were a lot of these that I saw where you could crop a part of it, and it looks like a person. Like it looks, and it's completely generated by AI. But that, people had the back and forth about that replacing things, but also it's like, it's AI, it's still based on like millions of pictures of real people is how it does its machine learning and this and that. And actually, I forgot, now that I go back to what I was actually writing down, deep fakes. Okay, that's what I was going at. So AI deep fake porn, right? Which that's, of course, like crossing super a line. Hot. Yeah, no, but the discussion about it is pretty interesting. And I saw a lot of leftist people. I mean, I understand it. But even comparing deep fake porn to rape, right? Because of the lack of consent. Which immediately, where I think, and this person I follow on Twitter, she even said immediately afterwards, she's like, I wish I just hadn't used that word, because it is what I mean, but that immediately just raises the flags where it's like, wow, it's not rape. Don't downplay what actual rape is and stuff. But this comparison of like the lack of consent, like you're using someone else's likeness for pornography, right? And how I think it became a big story again because a streamer, a really popular streamer, she, of course, there's deep fake porn of her, and another fellow streamer, or supposedly her friend, I think, was caught like watching it or looking at it and stuff, and it really hurt her and crossed the line. But I don't know. I mean, the critics of her, I mean, it doesn't help that streaming is her job. So part of this reaction is her streaming herself crying, literally crying about it. It's like, I don't know how good this is for anyone. But hurt.
It shows a real, like, she chooses to be vulnerable like that and be like, this is legitimately
really
how I felt.
Feelings.
Like,
It's
I want you
very
guys to see
violating.
that this, I'm a real person and this is how I'm actually fucking feeling about this. This is what these things are doing. I'm not just like, it's not some abstract concept to me. This is actually affecting my life and my friendships and relationships and stuff.
Exactly.
So I can see it seems a little bit weird for people to be so like crying on stream, but that's what they do. That's how they communicate to their audience. It seems like a real thing, like I can see why, wanting to be real about it. Like, unlike the deep fake, she wants to be real,
Yes.
Like,
and just using, it's like, even though you were never, directly like exploited through pornography or let alone like directly, physically assaulted or violated or had your consent violated. It is like, it's you though. It's your likeness. The reason it exists is not because it's just a face. It's because it's you.
It's you.
Which is, it's just really odd. It's really concerning. I don't know. And it's like, I mean, if you find yourself defending it only based on like just free speech, like that isn't good enough. It's really odd. But I think it's a really interesting kind of landmark in terms of AI generated content. Like, because that's how they can use this and how they can make things look like real. Like, we all thought about, we've all talked about how, deep fakes are going to be so good that you can't tell that it's not really, Obama didn't really say that or something like that. And sure, that's interesting too. But it's like, that really personal level with deepfake pornography is like really...
Yeah, why do people do that? I mean, whatever, I guess that's a whole other subject, but definitely comparing it to rape, it does seem like, okay, so there's the whole thing where people are like, anything non-consensual is rape.
Because it is a violation of consent. I mean,
it is a violation of consent, but not everything that's non-consensual is rape, because it does feel a lot different when someone non-consensually touches you or makes like comments or is blah 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 than when they're violently forcing you to have sex with them. It's a really different feeling to have someone you're saying no and over again and blah 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 and they pin you down and fuck you is a lot different than this sort of abstract concept of, like your face being, it's not even really, this isn't even you, and it's disturbing and upsetting for sure, but I think that definitely using the word rape is
and
not
she even kind of
appropriate
said that
for this kind of conversation. I think that it's like, it does seem really violating and weird, but also I'd be like, good. So then anytime a sex tape of me comes out, I'm like, that's not me. That's a deep fake.
Yeah,
so
but
whatever. Unless I look good, then it's me.
I saw that
no,
reaction
of course I wouldn't
too.
think that.
No, I've seen people
No, I'm
bring
just
that
kidding,
up.
obviously. But it does seem weird and upsetting, and it is like AI stuff is just like something that we're gonna have to come to grips with. Like as our society and technology is like evolving and advancing, it's just something we have to have conversations about for sure. But to be so like, for the rhetoric to be like that, being like, I mean, because if you're calling that rape, then it's like
using
someone who's
you for their sexual gratification without your consent.
Sure, but so you're gonna be like, you're gonna call that rape, and you're gonna give the guy who made that deep fake the same kind of prison time as someone who raped a 10-year-old?
Right?
No, God, no. Like it is different.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
Not that you can't like hierarchy, whatever difference, worse, better, whatever. But it's just like maybe we need a new way of talking about this to not, because it's not comparable, because it's not about comparisons. It's about this unique situation, and how, because a lot of it goes into it and how it's going to affect women for sure because of already this. I'm sure she's a really hot streamer, right?
Yeah, I forget her name. I've heard of
woman.
her though. I think she's streamed with Hassan or something. She's very pretty, yeah, of course. But it's mostly just because she's a notable figure. That's why, I mean, celebrity fake nudes have been a thing since I was looking them up on a dial-up connection, because like, whoa, and then they look so fucking fake that it's not like you're going to jack off to it anyway. But I mean, that's been discussed on Cumtown many times, But Stavros Halkias talks about that a lot. But so I mean, there's something to that. There's definitely, I can understand the desire existing. I mean, it's just a fact. Like, you can't hand wave that away. That's not going to solve the problem. Be like, well, why do people even want to see this? It's like, because people want to see AOC getting fucked. Like, and now, unfortunately, there's a way for them to do that, and it's like, so I don't know. It's it's troubling.
I'm
it's
saying,
quite troubling.
Like, not about the people wanting to watch it, but I just imagine the people sitting at their computer making these deep fakes and how fucking weird it is that they like set out this plan, like they have this whole setup. It's like a very weird thing to think about someone taking the time to do.
Well, it's weird now because of that effort. Like, that effort is weird, but AI is moving so quickly that it will be effortless. Like, it just will be. It's crazy how far AI has come in like the last year. Ethan was talking about that when we were talking about ChatGPT and stuff, and like how, I mean, it's still, so obviously AI in so many different instances, but it's grown so much that, like, I mean, the Turing test is just going to be an obsolete idea at a certain point very soon, because content, conversations, things like that created by AI are just going to be that good. I mean, not everything's going to be the 24-hour-a-day Seinfeld stream. I sent that to, I made sure RM Brown, I was like, have you seen this? Have you listened to this? And that was actually taken down recently. And I think, I have to look it up, but secondhand what someone mentioned in a Twitter reply was, I think they crossed a TOS line, like,
what does that mean?
Like terms of service, like violated terms of service on Twitch with something that was said, and it's AI. Like, there's no human input into it, which is really kind of crazy. But also, I thought a good point. It's funny, now it's harder to find this stuff because I deleted Twitter, so at least I had a link to this. But another great Twitter follower, Taylor, she said, as someone who has had a person tell her father that she had an OnlyFans, imagine your family finds photos of you doing something sexual that you didn't even do. It's not okay to follow or support anything with deep fakes. It's fucked up. And it's like, oh yeah. Like, I thought it was kind of a good point. She says, I did the OnlyFans. I still don't know who told my dad, but that's fucked up regardless. They have no control what is posted of them. I did. But, you still breach trust by even engaging with the deepfake stuff. But
yeah, I mean, definitely like a weird, gross thing, like to appeal to some, like these instincts that are definitely there because people are fucking horny, okay? Let's just get that out there, people. And when you get horny, you know what? When people get horny, that's why there's so much weird content out there that anyone who's ever masturbated or been on watching porn, the hornier you get, the less like ethics and morals and stuff matter. That's not a justification.
I think that's like
just
biology.
Like what happens. That's legitimately. And it is not a justification at all.
Post-nut clarity is a thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh my God, what am I doing? Or
that meme of Drake looking at it's like a lollipop that's almost to the end, and he's like, ugh, looking at it. It's like me looking at the porn after I just nutted. Like the porn I was watching
good
after
Lord,
I just nutted.
Close these multiple tabs.
What am I?
But
well, I'll save this one, but
and you know what really sucks, not just with the deep fakes especially, but even AI generated women and stuff. It's like why though? Because there are so many smoking hot people making content Okay,
doing this consensually.
Yeah, there are
exactly.
people that want to show you their bodies, that want to show you sexual acts.
Real people
that support sex work, please. Like if you're, that's besides the point of like you're saying. It's like, oh, I mean, people get horny and all that goes out the window. It's like, yeah, and everyone gets horny, and some people want to find this stuff, and it's there for you. Someone's making this for you. If you're not just fucking. Like, you can, if this is about online pornographic content and stuff like that, it's there. Like, someone put some
for you.
Tender loving care into this, so that people like you could get their rocks off. Like, there are so many smoking hot women on the internet. You don't need to make,
and men.
I know, but I was gonna say, but you don't need to make AI women. Like,
yeah,
of course there's smoking hot men. I don't know how much AI men there is. I'm sure there will be, but of course, what really made the rounds was all these AI women that was I kept seeing on Twitter. And plus, every time I saw it, I was like, if I'm gonna look up porn, that's not really my type of woman. I'm not into rib cages. All right, that's just me. All right, where's the thick AI bot? Never mind.
Yeah, it's probably racist and
I found the women I like, but it's like I think they posted it ironically on Stormfront. No, this isn't where I want to be. That post nut clarity is brutal.
Yeah, oof, yikes. Yeah, who am I legitimately
as a person?
Yeah,
that Doug guy.
I think
wow, what a piece of shit.
It definitely seems like it would really lend itself to even more objectification of women and like slut shaming and stuff, when there's like all this where it's like, well, you saw that sex tape with her when it wasn't even real, for one thing, and just the attitude about women who do that anyways, who
people who
OnlyFans
want you
and all
to
that
see
kind of
it.
stuff where
like they already get
the
slut shamed and objectified, and it's like, now you're gonna truly boil women down, not only boil them down to only sexual objects purposefully by making it
when they didn't even
with
do
a
that.
machine. But and then doing that with deep fakes and stuff to women that exist that don't want to put that out there. They don't even have
really
something for
what
you
women
to slut
want.
shame because they're not being what you would call a slut or whatever. Like,
yes, they are, Doug. They have a vagina, so they're
they are
sluts.
women.
So if they're hot, especially, they're sluts.
That's true.
Like that's why they're hot. They're only hot so people can objectify them.
That's true.
So
that's true.
Though someone I just met, they were talking about how hot I was, and
I liked
they were saying, I was like, that's why I dress like this. Objectify me. And she was like, yeah, it's consensual objectification. And I was like, exactly. That's what I like to be. Not really objectified, but comment on my looks. I like, people that aren't doing it so they can like just try to have sex with me. It's a fun thing to be your looks. Like
visual
where I put
appraisal.
A bunch of fucking effort into this outfit.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, appreciate beauty because it's there. You wouldn't be like, oh, I don't want to give that flower a big ego or whatever by saying it's beautiful.
Yeah. Wow.
But I did look pretty hot that night, so.
Okay, Natalie.
What else were people supposed to say?
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, Natalie.
Well, with all that AI that came at Hassan, he was just like,
I need to see a dick.
So it's on its way.
Don't you worry. Yeah.
So,
yeah, it just seems like an interesting turn in the advancement of like with the sexual revolution or whatever. It just seems weird. To me, just. Yeah, when there's all these people who are willingly putting themselves out there, real people with like real bodies and stuff and like real holes. And all these things are like whatever you're looking for in a porno.
It's like, gosh, you got all
that
this AI
are wanting
stuff.
you to look at their actual.
There's some real ass holes walking around right now. It's like the worst way to refer to a woman. Let's go get some fucking hole. No, this is a really
That's
crude
how I
episode.
refer to women. We should invite Dad to listen to this one.
I was just thinking about that. I was like, oh my God. Hey, hold on for a sec. But it still, I was going to say, I wish I could plug this in. But I wrote also still AI voice stuff can be so funny, and that's what makes this unfortunate. I heard this one with Joe Biden playing a Call of Duty.
Jack,
the kazoo.
Right out the gate with a no scope on that nigga. Pop up on a nigga like
Oh my God.
They're trying to juke a nigga, so I had to hit that no scope.
Oh my God.
And he keeps saying,
straight dropping niggas like the World Trade, bro.
like the World Trade, bruh. The way he keeps saying bruh, and it's like, it's all footage of someone playing Call of Duty. And they even have like the Photoshop picture of Joe Biden out there with his big Newport cigarette hoodie on and cornrows and stuff.
Oh
but
my
that
God.
that AI voice is pretty good. Like some of them,
That's really
that
good.
one that was from a few years ago of Jordan Peterson was really good. And that got taken down. Like, the guy who made it, he wasn't even, like, an anti-Peterson guy. And he's like, this kind of really blew up and crossed the line. I don't want Jordan Peterson going after me. And he took it down. And that was that one... they used to use sound clips of that on H3, I think, of Jordan Peterson saying, like, I did not fuck my dog or something like that.
And Jordan Peterson was like, don't say that. That's my
He's
lover.
like,
it's my best friend.
Stop putting words in my mouth.
Put that dog dick back in my mouth.
Yeah, this isn't a crude episode.
Not everything's for everyone, Dad.
It's like, well, we had to go from, speaking of comparing to last week, which I hadn't spoken yet, but which I was thinking. So anyway, I was like, we go from, oh my gosh, what was his name? That was just beaten to death.
Porden Jeterson? Oh, Tyree Nichols?
In that episode to now when we're talking about porn and stuff like that, and Joe Biden saying the N-word.
A lot of consistency.
But man, during the State of the Union tonight, it was like, I don't know, just I've gone so far. I'm no far leftist, right? But it's like some liberal stuff. It just really, it's not even cringe. It's like this hopelessness where it's like, I mean, that Tyree Nichols' parents were at the State of the Union, and he brought it up and they stood up, and everyone like gave him a standing ovation and stuff like that.
God.
Where it's just like, what are we doing here, man? Like,
and then chanting USA, and the Tyree Nichols' parents are there. Jesus
within the same
Christ.
hour. That's a good point.
Satire is
where
dead.
It's like, and that was, and what sucks to me, where it's like I had that icky feeling when they did that, even though they're trying to do good, right? They're just hapless, hopeless liberals. But it's like, that what sucks is that icky feeling just from that section to the good things that Joe Biden was saying about policing and stuff, stemming from he quoted Tyree Nichols' mother, because she said, if anything happens, we please hope that something good can come out of this. Something, and he'd said that, and then he did this pretty good section. Like you said, we won't really talk about the State of the Union that much, but good section on like policing. He was pretty much talking about white privilege in America without using the words white privilege. It was really well done, in my opinion, because it's like, it's stuff that you can't argue with, where he's talking about, not everyone like us has to have the talk like black and brown people in this country do. I would have never even thought that I had to tell Bo or something when he was younger that if you get pulled over, make sure you immediately turn your dome light on so they can see you, and put your hands up and don't immediately reach for your driver's license, And it's like, it's just good. I mean, for us, educated people, it's like, we know about this is the problem. We've been talking about this for like 10 years. That's where these are the type of ideas where the word woke actually came from within the black community, and it's been completely fucking bastardized into what it is now, where it's just like something is liberal, they call it woke. fucking pisses me off. But
oh God,
come on.
But anyway, it just really, it was just a weird. Like I said, it's not really cringe because that doesn't do it justice. It's this despair. I don't know. It's like, what is the purpose here? You know, and like you just said, I didn't even think about it. Just having that juxtaposed with some of the rest of the content of the speech, or Marjorie Taylor Greene and other Republicans like yelling in the middle of the State of the Union. Like, I'm not one who's usually talking about decorum and civility, but it's like, out of all things, like, what are you trying to do? Shut up. like I would say the same thing if Nancy Pelosi was yelling at Trump during his State of the Union. It's just like, shut up. Like, it reminded me of going to my daughter's ballet recital, and I feel like because her poor senior and high school teacher didn't specifically tell everyone to shut up before the thing started, people were just talking the whole time. When kids were out there dancing, I wanted to scream. I was like, where do you think you are? It's just one of those things where it's like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here if you're not going to be listening to the person up front doing their thing? Like, if you didn't want that,
feel like
go. It's okay.
I feel
it's free
like
country.
Always such a teacher's pet, like in workplaces or different things. I want to be like, be quiet, guys. Someone's talking. Yeah. But legit, also, it's like, I'm trying to pay attention, so please shut up, because I have a hard time paying attention if people are talking. So thanks. Like, there's other people in this room too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, thanks. But
thanks for the recording that I took of my daughter's ballet recital, having you talking about your dentist appointment or whatever the fuck is going on. Whatever. It's so
you're just
like
there.
It's so pressing. You had to talk about it during the middle of a ballet recital.
I know. Oh man, it was bad at the beginning too. And these cute little girls doing their thing up there, when it's just like, who's gonna? You can't stop in the middle and just start telling people like, hey, shut up. I mean, we're not in a movie theater where that's okay. But
you do it right before the next act starts, and you're like, dude, can you shut the fuck up, please? Or
well, that's the thing, is it wasn't people directly next to me. We were good to go. It was just, you could hear just talking, just murmuring throughout the whole crowd, because I mean, there were like, 75 people there. It was pretty packed, and it's just like, you can't just be talking. Like, this is going to take 2 minutes. There's little girls dancing right now. Like, shut up.
Is there a moment where, that's on Bo Burnham's special Inside, where he's just like, can any one person just for one moment shut the fuck up about any one thing? Can you just like shut the fuck up, like, at all? Like, anyone, one person for one thing for 1 minute. Like,
and everyone's response is just,
oh, how I wish I could believe or understand that.
And it doesn't help that at the end of like the young group, they're like 3 to 5 year olds or something. They're little girls, very cute, but at the end, after all those people were talking through it, the reaction was I was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, well, they probably sucked.
I mean, but what were you expecting? There were but it was those people up in the upper boxes with their, opera glasses and tuxedos.
They were like, "Shut the fuck up!" Boo! People at the opera.
Yeah, and when we all should have
rowdy crowds,
we all should have clapped, and it was just silent. It was like
dead air.
One of the girls ran crying from the stage.
Hey, it's gonna make her tougher, What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah,
or it kills you.
Character.
I mean,
oh, God,
those two. It either has to make you stronger or it kills you.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, I guess it really is kind of up to chance. Doesn't matter. Here's one. Unless, do you have some?
You know what?
I'm just talking over you so much. I swear to God.
I swear to God. It's okay. We're almost done.
Yeah, I guess. If you want to cut it short. Yeah.
Dead air.
Yeah, I mean, really, when it comes down to it.
What is this? Just a couple guys having a conversation? Who the hell wants to listen to that?
No. Yeah, exactly.
No.
Here's one. it's funny thinking of guys, quote, losing their livelihoods because of a false accusation, of like sexual misconduct, things like that. Of course, that's always a go-to dumbass reactionary response. Well, people can lose their livelihoods or they'll lose their job, and stuff like that. But it's funny thinking of guys losing their jobs because of a false accusation, etc., because in the rare time that is the case, I think it really means his employer was just waiting for an excuse to drop him like a trig class. That's what I said. It's like, LOL, guys all over are shielded by their employers for totally legitimate accusations all the time, Yeah. It's like,
right?
It's like, well, all it took was that false accusation. It's like, do you think that their employer really wanted to keep him around then? I mean, not if he was a victim of a false accusation. I don't want to victim blame, but sounds like they were just waiting for an excuse, and that provides a very easy excuse to let you go.
And like, what happens? Like, so how do they know it's a false accusation? Because it comes out later that it was a false accusation, or what? Or are they people just guessing that? Like,
yeah.
Like, how do they get these statistics of false accusations?
Oh yeah, anytime if you press
Seems
for
like a tough one to
statistics,
kind of
I'm
prove.
sure that it happens. Of course, I mean there's 350 million people in this country, but it's like, but yeah, it's so. Oh wow, we've been doing this for a long time. We did talk for a while. Oh, but I can take my medication. I already took it. Anyway.
Good job there, homestayer.
But yeah, I mean, it's like the only time it would really come out that it was a false accusation is if that was admitted to in court, pretty much, Like,
yeah, and then I feel like that person would get their job back if they were falsely accused and then fired, and then it all came out that it was a false accusation. It seems like the job would be like, oh my god, yeah, wow. Yeah, they would take you back because
we were going to take you back because we were worried about backlash from uninformed people on Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry, we just can't do it. You're our top performer, but after it's just
you're the best guy in the office.
It's not good optics, you know what I mean? Sorry,
for someone
sweaty.
who was cleared of all charges, we can't have someone with a clean record
it's just
on
too
staff.
late.
So.
The Twitter, the woke scold Twitter mob has said its piece, sweaty.
They've canceled you.
Yeah, you've been canceled.
I'm tired of being a corporate shell.
That doesn't really work, but
oh my god. Excuse me. Oh wow.
Well, I'm glad that kind of cut out on my end, so I can.
You'll get it when you get my
when you get the file.
You fix that in post.
Yeah. No, I will not fix that in post. I think if you listen to the show, you would know that nothing gets fixed in post. So
my friend just said that she thought it was funny that we say we're going to edit this out, and then we don't. Obviously, like,
although there is some that will be edited.
All that time
out.
looking for that adapter.
That's not going to be in there. At least that is just a section that I can cut out. So it's just me rummaging through drawers while my microphone sits 10 feet away. But
and I try to shout jokes to you through
my headphones
you're not wearing.
and I just can't find it. And then I realize I'm okay because really
mental illness is when you're right wing,
and I'm not. I'm fine. So
you're not right wing.
Exactly.
Anyway,
so I am fine. Like I said, I already took my medication today. But
keeps me from being right wing.
Yeah, exactly. It's called I don't know. God, oof, man, we're good at this.
Improv is so easy.
Yeah.
It just is like it's like it's like a bird.
And scene.
So there we go. So let's see. We covered Joe Biden saying the N-word.
Yep. I'm surprised not more news coverage about that.
He was saying
we're here to break it for you guys.
And he was 360 no-scoping them fools, bruh.
Yeah, that's a top news story.
You can't inspire people by continuing to give them what they already believe to be possible. Well, let's go to
Doug.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
who cares?
Doug he's the real deal.
So Hooters is doing badly because people hate boobs. There's no other reason.
Did we talk about that already?
We talked about it ourselves, but I don't think we brought it up on the show. But I've had that sitting in the notes because it's just funny thinking it's like, nope, it's just because millennials don't like boobs. That's why. That's like the embodiment of the Seymour Skinner meme of, no, it's them they're the ones who are wrong, you know? Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children that are wrong, you know? It's just like, well, I guess they just don't like boobs or the, you know, even outside of saying they don't like sexual objectification. Yeah, we do. Like,
look at the deep fakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Like,
who do you think's doing that? Boomers? I don't
people
think
are
so.
Still horny. It's like, because Hooters, it's like, why go to Hooters when you can just go to a good restaurant and just look at thoughts on your phone on Instagram? Like, or just like hit up a strip club
go to like some
afterwards.
subpar restaurant, that explicitly objectifies women and has way before it was ever like not cool, but where it was like maybe women had some choice in it or something like that. It's like it's called Hooters.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have good food.
As far as I know, I've never eaten there.
I mean, that's why we don't. I think it's supposed to be just fine. It's like wings or whatever, but it's like something. You know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I like Buffalo Wild Wings has some pretty great wings.
Yes.
So
well, I mean, I ate at Twin Peaks, that one, where it's a really similar thing. It's just a different aesthetic. It's like plaid and the jean shorts and stuff, and all the women are very attractive. And, you know, it's the same type of thing, except Twin Peaks actually had the whole, it's like, it was like a Buffalo Wild Wings, like gigantic TVs, like TVs everywhere with sports on them and stuff. And the food was fine.
You know their demographic.
And the woman who served us was very nice and good at her job too, you know? And it was like, it's almost even less so. I don't know if it's worse or better when it's like that's the thing about it. They have, you know, hot women serving your stuff, right? That's their thing, just like Hooters. But
hot women serving hot
it's
food.
like just not. And Twin Peaks is still a euphemism. It's still innuendo.
More of an allusion,
but it's like not
like straight up
Hooters. Yeah, where it's like it's the boob restaurant.
Look at the Hooters on that hose whatever.
Yeah, like the Hooters on that hole. But it's like, it's not just like the boob restaurant, like the one. It's almost like being the flagship one is just that much worse for Hooters. I don't know. It's like, because if you've already had all the jokes about your restaurant, it's like, you're done. You're done, man. Like, you have to have something.
Your 15 minutes
something
is over.
else that stands out. And I think, even just having that aesthetic at Twin Peaks, where it's like, no, it's like, I mean, it's like
a classy boobs restaurant.
No, not even classy. It's like that working class, like logging type thing. Like I said, it's like plaid button-ups, but you know, they're like wide open and they got tiny shorts and they wear boots and stuff. It's like they at least have something that they're trying to do here, you know? And it's like, but at the same time, it's like, but it's still just an aesthetic choice on top of just a restaurant. Like, it's the same issues that any restaurant has. Like, you can't say that millennials and Zoomers don't want to go to Hooters because they don't like girls with big boobs, you know, or something like that. It's because we also don't go to Applebee's either. It has nothing to do with that.
And the Hooters waitresses wear short fucking shorts too. You know, like, it's not just titties. And also, we love titties. We love bodies. We love all of it. It's just not maybe the boob obsession that used to be, because it was a little bit like that, I think. You know, and then
because
asses got popular because there are more people of color being popular.
It's like because of the fucking white, you know, hegemony. You know, until finally we're able to come out in public and say, you know what, I do like asses better. And, you know,
well, Beyonce saying bootylicious and all that kind of stuff, you know, kind of getting people more attuned to the to the ass.
Exactly.
And that's lovely.
Yep.
And we love to see it, folks.
Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce.
I mean, I love to see it
strong
all.
women of color with nice booties. I'm gonna start a restaurant. Let me write this down. I'm gonna objectify some women. No,
women of color. Yeah.
But
oh my god.
What's yeah, it's called brown sugar. No, no. But you know what's funny? So because we talked about that weeks ago, when I saw that article about how they were blaming lack of interest in boobs or something as like, you know, Hooters is going downhill and stuff, and you know they're just not doing well, like we just talked about. Like you kind of expect, like, do something, like you're not going to survive.
Yeah,
but
the restaurant business is like the hardest one to like succeed in too. You've been around for a long time, and you're just doing the same thing. You're not going to innovate or anything like that. You're not going to change up your menu.
And
though
when
I don't know,
it's
maybe
a
they have, and their
cultural
food just
thing,
fucking sucks.
is your signifier, is your signature, like. You're already walking a razor's edge the entire time because of how culture changes, regardless, you know?
Yeah.
Like Denny's, they don't have that. It's just, they are a 24-hour diner. Like, it's just regular run-of-the-mill competition, you know, in that space. It's not like they have like a signature thing that's directly attached to culture, which constantly changes. And as the great Andrew Breitbart said, politics is downstream from culture. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, what was funny is that I brought it up and we talked about it because I'd seen that article being shared on Twitter and people just trashing it, you know, because it's funny. And then just a few replies down, people are like, oh my gosh, this just resurfaces every once in a while. This article's from like 2017 or something like that. Or maybe it's like, it's just the same thing. It's the same conversation. You know, it's like, oh, it just seems so prescient. I don't know. It seems so esoteric.
Nice. Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm using that word correctly, but it seems so hydraulic. No. But it's funny how that just slips right by. It's like, wait, well, let me actually read that article. So you look it up and find it's like, oh, this is like 6 years old or something like that. So anyway.
I hope you get ass cancer and die, you son of a bitch.
Anyway.
That's what I told my waitress at Hooters.
That's what she told me. But
I hope you get boob
cancer. I was
cancer.
like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to tip 20% this time. And she said, 18. I agree with you. It's great to be fine. I was like, oh, you listen to the show. And we had a great conversation.
She's
after
our one
that.
super fan.
No, she disagrees a lot. She's quite a tanky, you know, a tank toppy.
Nice. And on that note.
Oh, boy.
Dead air.
Okay. Yeah. On that note. Okay. Well, we'll have this one a little bit shorter than usual. I think we'll just wrap it up right there.
Come on.
But final word.
Like a little gift.
Everyone is stupid except me.
And that is
as always.
That's your final word, at least. You're the smart one here. My final word?
I need to see a dick.
I'm smart like Homer Simpson.
Yeah, I'm smart like Homer Simpson. That one time when he said something really stupid about being smart. That'd be a good Simpson clip that I can take. That I am so smart. I am so smart. S-M-R-T. I mean S-M-A-R-T. He lights his diploma on fire. It starts catching the living room on fire. That's a classic episode.
He is so smart.
Last thing that I didn't want to bring up because I don't know enough about it. Sometimes I feel really stupid.
Well, let's research
so I'm going to say we should have a party platform or ideology based on the views, teachings, and writings of MLK.
Of Karl Marx.
Even when educating people on anything more than, quote, the dream, it's full of rhetoric and ideas that people agree with. somehow without making it politically tainted by the idea of socialism. I think there's something to be done here. Plus, you get to get to kind of shame people into
virtue signaling.
Yeah, it's like, well, this is MLK. This is based on what MLK wanted.
MLK?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Okay.
You could literally our party ideology is based on the writings, teachings, and beliefs of MLK and Albert Einstein, and you'd have a socialist party.
And what the right would say is our viewpoints are based on Jesus.
Yeah,
you can't.
They're
top that.
MLK and Einstein. What, a black guy and a Jew? I don't think so.
What? Sounds like the beginning to a joke.
Yeah,
come on.
It's all right. Albert Einstein and Martin Luther King Jr. walk into a bar. Bartender Trump says
The N-word.
no. Oh, I guess that wasn't very funny.
These people are sick. People have to flush their toilet 15 times.
But I think that's something worth. I think that is something worth thinking about. I
agree.
In terms of
it's great
political. In terms
agenda.
Yeah, in terms of actual. See, I'm running out of steam here. Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, actually trying to get messages across to people. This could be, the progressive wing of the Democrats, or, a party caucus or type of American
party caucus.
American social democratic ideology. Doesn't necessarily have to be socialism, and everyone hates the DSA now for whatever reason. I don't fucking care. But MLK. MLK. That's what we'll be chanting.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah,
because when it comes down to it, he was at the least a social democrat. So this is our assignment. Should you choose to accept it, which you will.
Suck a dick, dumb shits.
And
thanks a lot, Puritans.
I don't know, but no, is to look into later writings and speeches of MLK. It's hard for me to. I just wish I knew more. You know what I mean? I wish I was more well versed on MLK, because it's so easy to only have what we've been fed, the propagandistic slop.
We talked about MLK a lot in my philosophy.
Yeah, it's I really do. It's not even just. I just feel like every time I learn more about his views, about his activism, and about especially his later views on, the capitalist economy in the United States, I feel like he just really should be. He's just such a good figurehead for me personally, where it's it's so much more modern. It's so American, way of viewing. I don't know, just more socialist progress and what needs to be done. Instead of, it seems like everyone that we talk about as being any sort of thought leader in progressive movements is either foreign or dead. It's we don't want those foreigners in here. The large figureheads that speak of this stuff that are American are like Bernie Sanders, or of course there are more. I'm not as well read as the thousands of people that listen to this podcast, but we need to have good thought leading figureheads, and I think that MLK and what little we have is a lot. I just think it's a good idea. The MLK party. The Dream Party. No. The Dream Team.
The Dream.
We're this is because socialism is...
Socialism is when no car.
No, because Because successful American socialism would be like the 1992 dream team of politics. All right, for all of those thousands of basketball fans that listen to our show.
Most of our listeners,
they're like,
big basketball fans.
Yeah, Patrick Ewing was my favorite back then. Yeah, so I liked him more than Michael Jordan.
Well, yeah.
No, we get all of our listeners are like, I prefer John Stockton to that showboat or Michael Jordan. We're like, whoa, hey, let's have a talk here.
Okay, yeah, showboater, huh? I'm not sure.
I just saw a tweet the other day that was, hey, my political litmus test for whether someone is racist is if they prefer college basketball to the NBA. Disregarding March Madness. Yeah. And I was like, I get that. And I said, my personal one is more of a misogyny test because my hot take is that the WNBA is better than college ball. And a lot of people disagree with that. But that's just that's a little more personal stuff. But I think some of those professional games are pretty fucking sweet. Anyway,
hell yeah,
let's get going.
My personal litmus test is actually I have said this as an example. It's like, well, about someone talking about someone else. Is like, well, what do you think their opinion? She was saying that she's not racist. Blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah. What was her opinion on Colin Kaepernick when he was first kneeling? That seems like it's like. Because a lot of people changed their tune kind of after George Floyd in particular. And seeing, maybe Colin Kaepernick had a point. But it's like, if you weren't on board to begin with, that is a good litmus test of where at least you were then and what your starting point is as like your views of race and its relation, whatever they're talking about, patriotism and all this kind of stuff. But like not understanding his point at all and taking it from the racist perspective that most Americans have, of black people not doing protests correctly, whatever it is, any of these excuses that they would use to just pretty much be like, black people need to stay in their place.
Or not being a particular problem for black communities, because it happens to everyone. It's like, and at the least,
he needs to shut up. He's a millionaire.
Sure, maybe it did take, burning buildings in the George Floyd protests for you to reconsider. Unfortunately, then hey, that's one person where that worked. But at the least, you have to admit where you were then on Colin Kaepernick, because that's the only way you can move forward and help hone your values and your own beliefs.
Yeah, help
I
be
couldn't
an ally.
believe. Yeah, exactly. It's like all that Colin Kaepernick. It's like, that happened before George Floyd. That Black Lives Matter existed long before George Floyd. This shit has been happening.
Yeah, it was just. Yeah, that one was so. People were just so shocked that he was just, on camera, like choked to death.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty.
Like, it was more of a straw that broke the camel's back.
But that shit has been fucking happening.
Exactly. Okay. Anyway,
they just happen to have cameras. Anyways, bye.
Okay. Well, I love you. I love R.M. Brown.
Love you. Our Lord and Savior.
Kwament's show is coming up, so think of something you want to ask him. I don't know if you do that on Patreon, but I will submit for you under Inane Blather. So he'll read it on the now closing on 5-hour-long podcast.
Will you listen to this podcast?
Yeah, well, maybe I should. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm going to say, my goal for 2023 is to somehow at some point get R.M. Brown to listen to our show and get him to say...
Go. We got to send it to him.
Not good.
Dang it, I forgot that I turned this down. Let's get it really loud.
Not good.
There we go.
That's because you're an honorless, lying little turd.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks.
Awesome to the max.
And that's the end of the episode.
And scene.
Oh, that was loud. Okay. I love you. Shout out R.M. Brown. I love you, Zach. Shout out, Zach. Shout out to my friend that I hadn't talked to in forever. It was her birthday today, even though this comes out later. But love you, Rachel. And she doesn't listen to the show, so whatever. Happy birthday. Yeah, exactly. She has better things to do with her time. Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Okay. I love you. Bye.